Hello, Dave here with emergencyprepguy.com. I appreciate you stopping by. In today's video, I wanted to show you guys a really stupid mistake that I made that made me very sad. And I should have known better. And hello McFly. I'm sitting there thinking, why did it take me so long to realize what the problem was? But I thought that might benefit you guys to know the mistake I made, so when you guys are doing it, raising chukars or any kind of baby chick, that you don't make this same mistake. Basically what I did was, I've never raised birds this early in the season before. I literally ordered the first batch I could get from anybody that would ship eggs. And in where I live in high elevation, it gets really cold, and so my garage, it's still well below freezing. It gets really cold in my garage, and so I was worried about the chukars being warm, even though they're in that nice enclosed incubator. And when what I always do is, the temperature gauge on that thing is in Celsius, and when I first put the baby chicks in there, I always I have it up to 40 degrees when I first put them in there, because they're coming out of a wet environment and I'm moving them into a dry environment, but I have the doors open and it's cold outside, and so there's a bunch of cold air gets in there. So I always have the heat on full blast when I first put them in there. Well, anyway, being worried about them, normally I would lower that thermostat down to about 35, 36 degrees Celsius, which is about 95, 96, 97, right in there, degrees Fahrenheit, about 95, 96. You want to keep them at 95 is where you want them. So normally I lower it down to 36 or so degrees Celsius, and then within a day or so I lower it down to 35, so it's right at 95 if it's cold outside and I'm worried about it. And anyway, long story short, I kept it up closer to 40 degrees Celsius, just because I thought it being so cold in the garage, that I don't know how good insulating anyway, that was just the wrong thing to do, because with baby chicks, as long as they have and I know this, I've raised tons and tons of batches of baby chicks, but with baby chicks, as long as they got a place where they can go to get the warmth that they need, they'll go there, they'll get that, and then they'll venture out, and then as they start to get cold, they'll go back under it. That's why, people, when you have regular brooder boxes, you have just a heater, the heat lamp, or a heating plate, but the rest of it's not heated. They can go out around. But most of the time, people are not have their brooder box in a cold garage either. So anyway, I should have put the temperature down. If you saw my last video on Chukar Partridges, I said that I'd lost 5, and I thought that was unusual. I usually lose 1 or 2, but never 5. Well, I lost a total of 14 before I figured out what the heck was going on. And as soon as it occurred to me that you have that thermostat too hot, they get perfectly healthy quail chicks were just getting weak, and I was dehydrating them. Again, I just can't believe that I made this mistake and that it took me so long to figure out what was going on. But that day after I made that video, I lost like 7 or 8 of them all in one day, more. And then a few more after that. And then it occurred to me, I got this thing too hot. And so anyway, very, very dumb mistake when you're raising baby chicks. Temperature is everything, both while it's in the incubator and in the brooder box. Don't overheat them, because then if you overheat the babies, if you underheat them, they get cold, they lose their body temperature, and they chill and they die. If you overheat them, they get dehydrated, then they get sick and they get weak, and then they they don't eat, they don't drink, and they die. And so anyway, very, very sad. So I'm down to like 19 or 20 baby chicks from 34 that hatched. So I'm kicking myself, but you know, it's like my wife said, well, it's a good learning experience for you. It's sad, but you know, but I thought I would pass that along to you guys. You know, don't overthink this. Follow the rules that are tried and true that everybody knows when you're raising baby chicks, and you won't have that problem. As soon as I made that change, they're all healthy. You know, several days have gone by, I haven't lost any more. Everybody looks strong. It's just, I'm just sitting there kicking myself. Okay, here's the baby chicks. I'll show you them. It just makes me nauseated. See, they're starting to get old enough now that they're hiding from me. They're starting to get more skittish. It just makes me so sad that just my stupidity killed a bunch of them. But anyway, I'll do better. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful. Hope you learned from my mistakes. Appreciate you watching the video all the way to the end. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you in the next video.